my channel. My name is Gassy. If you're new here, karibu sana. And if you're an OG member, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! I think this is the first video. This is the first video I'm shooting this year. My last one was in October. The last video I did with Miriam still.
Wow.
I've been so inconsistent, but you know, sometimes if you're feeling overwhelmed, you take a break and then you start again. But yeah, I'm promising consistency this year. I'm hoping to provide so much value to you guys. So as you have seen from the Miriam,
Yes.
introduce yourself.
Hi, I am still here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, loves. My name is Miriam Warogoro. I am happy to be back. So I hope that you guys are doing well, and I'm happy to be doing this with you.
Yeah, so I feel like Miriam and I have a good chemistry. I think we should shoot more videos.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
We can have each other.
Yeah. So the topic today, we were really chatting, and we're just realizing like a lot of us are feeling left behind in life.
Yeah.
Like we were so overwhelmed by a lot of like the society pressure, nini.
Adulting.
Yeah, adulting just weird. Like I've just been feeling weird since January started, and right now it's when it's hitting me that and then you should start actually planning for the new year.
Wow.
Yes.
27.
Yes, 27th of January.
Is when you're
That's
starting.
when this weekend at
It's
least
allowed.
I'll sit down, look at my vision board for 2022, go through my goals, what I have achieved or not, or which I don't know.
Story for another
That's a story
day.
for another day. So yeah, how have you been, Megan?
I have been well. Maybe let me just laugh at you, because for me, I started this year on a very
note.
different note in terms of now working on my goals. Because actually you guys should already subscribe to my channel, where I have shared actually throughout this January on goals, how to be able to reach your goals, how to be more productive, and I can say it has been okay for the most part.
Okay.
Until this week, just something happened, and I have just I have binge watched Netflix movies. I don't know if you have watched is it called The Wedding Planner? Something like that. The Kenyan one. Yes. That one I have binge watched. The Ultimatum.
I have also watched it.
I don't know, I felt so guilty. But then today, as you can see, at least I have been productive. I woke up at 4:30.
Yes, you texted me at 4:30.
Yes.
I was like, ooh, this girl, like,
Yeah, that's what I have been doing this week, and the good thing is I am catching myself while I am going into that. Yeah, maybe I will share later on what is helping me.
okay, yeah, probably it will help me too. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
I'm still struggling. I'm still struggling to be like on routine and to just be consistent, especially because right now, like, I don't have any clients. So a lot of my time goes to maybe researching, perfecting my proposals, sending out proposals every day, approaching clients, cold emails and all that. And you can't do that all day.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It gets tiring,
It gets
especially
tiring.
when they don't reply.
Exactly. So yeah, so me, I'm just going with the flow, but I don't want to go with the flow, because I'm going with the flow. I'll have to it's August. Yeah, because time is flying really fast, and I do not want this year to be like other years. I really feel like I need to change so many things that I can succeed.
Yeah, that's actually what prompted me to start this in January, because I was like, we cannot be doing every year like any other year, and then we complain, oh, I didn't reach my goals, but what did you do about it? If all you did maybe was just scroll on social media and watch movies, who is to blame? And you know the way it feels bad. You feel guilty for not having done something, and especially a lot of times we know what we need to be doing. It's just that we can't do it. And I think that's why we are having this conversation, because like you said, you know, we are talking about feeling left behind in life. Like you said, whether or not you do it, December will come.
Again.
It will still come. It's just dependent on what you did about it. So yeah, I will share you. I will be your accountability partner.
Honestly, if I get like an accountability partner waking up, just waking up. My problem is waking up. But
also, do you sleep early? You know, so you can't expect to sleep late and wake up early.
For me, it's a bit wishy-washy, because sometimes I will go to bed early. I normally make sure at least I go to bed at least by midnight. If I'm doing other things, at least by midnight. That's weekdays. But sometimes I would even go to bed at 9, and then I can't shut my brain off. Like I'm overthinking. Like I'm just trying everything, but I can't sleep. So there are those days where I fall asleep late at 3, then I have to wake up early. And if I have an appointment, I'll go. But if I don't, I'll stay in bed.
Yeah, because why are you waking up early? Where are you going?
I think that's it. And also, like, there are these bad habits, like scrolling your phone in bed, because now when you're on the screen, it's hard to fall asleep.
Actually, and watching a series
before bed.
The one episode ends and it's like the last one. The last one.
Until 3 a.m. So that's how we are. So like, I wanted to ask Marianne if she feels left behind. Like, what do you feel like about where you are right now? Generally.
Generally.
You can even like go into details, like career-wise, where you feel, like spiritually or mentally, and all those sections.
The funny thing is, you see, even when I'm talking about waking up early and doing all these things, I feel like in my personal development, in my mental health, in these non-tangible things, I am at a good place. I remember even I was telling my friend the other day, she had sent this invite for a self-confidence webinar, and I didn't really pay attention, and then I was telling her, actually I'm at a good place in terms of my personal development, but if you get things to do with business and money, send them. So that is the side that is struggling. Because even just like you, the way you mentioned you don't have plans, I also took the leap of getting off of employment. And even the last video, if you guys didn't watch it, we were talking about how to get into the job market and everything. And being here now, sometimes you feel like you question, did I really do the right thing? Because I'm not really where I thought I would be. Because I quit when? Last year, July. So by the time December was coming, I had an existential crisis. I actually had to get off social media and everything, because I felt like, fuck it, fuck everything, fuck everyone, and just go.
I remember I went to your mom's place.
Yes, I just had to. Because it was like, what? So in terms of my career, in terms of my finances, but honestly, to be honest, it's not even my career, it's the financial aspect. Because career-wise, if someone looks at me, I have been a psychologist, I have been doing these things, I have won an award, I have been to different, organizations. It's just that it's not translating financially for me. And let's talk about now relationships.
Hey, me, I'm just failing you.
February is coming, Valentine's is coming. Where is your
I've been trying to convince myself, it's just a stupid day.
I know, right?
And you just keep yourself busy that whole day, and then itaisha too, you know.
The good thing is it will be on a weekday. So people will be working. Yeah. So that one also as well. Definitely feel left behind. But the good thing is I know why, and I know what I need to do. And I am not, like the way you're saying, I'm not really pressuring myself on that. Like I'm comfortable with that, based on where I've come from and the lessons I've learned. Yeah.
So like the relationship part, do you feel like you're behind, or it's the society or like people around you that are making you feel like you're behind?
I don't feel behind. It's just that the expectation.
Oh.
Nobody is even pressuring me. It's just that there is a certain expectation. If I did not say I am turning 29 this year,
Same.
have you seen those memes of I can't believe the year I'm turning this year? You know, I was watching a certain counselor yesterday post at she's like at 1998 kids can't believe at how old they are turning because they are turning 25. And I'm like, what about us? What about people in their 30s? What do we have to say? Like, Susa, yes, what a story measure. So, having to turn 29 and not being married, not being in a relationship, I feel like the societal way it is behind.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't even have a lot of friends who are married. So I don't have that pressure. It's just the way it would look from the outside. Yeah.
Oh.
How about you? Do you?
If I feel behind?
Yeah.
Well, it's a yes and a no. Yes, because career-wise, I feel like I'm a bit behind, and I feel like I'm not where I wanted to be. Because last year when I started, I was so psyched up. Like I can remember, like after my vision board, I wanted to like sign more clients that I actually love working with. Yeah, and kind of like even have an agency. Yeah, I had seen like this year I will start maybe with an agency. Like I would have established myself, but things went differently. Towards the end of the year, I was feeling exhausted. I didn't want to work with the people I was working with. And guys, like it was just a leap of faith. I'm good at what I do, and I feel like I'll give myself time and I'll get the clients that I actually want to work with, the things I want to work with, so that at least I can kind of niche down. So anyway, so from my job, I feel like I'm kind of behind because I'm starting a new year. I don't have a job for the first time in my life. By the way, I'm unemployed because
You've never experienced that.
I started working when I was 16. Like I was selling, like nilikuwa na biashara, I had a business. So since then, I've never been in a place where I don't have an income, no matter how small. So it's a new thing for me. It's overwhelming and it's scary because I don't know how it will go. But anyway, I believe in myself and I'm gonna faith. I'm hoping this year I'll like reach higher heights. Yeah, relationship wise, I'm just there. Yeah, I'm just there. Couple of situationships here and there, nothing serious. But honestly, like I feel like once I start getting into a relationship, like it kind of distracts me a little bit.
Actually, it's something a lot of women do.
Yeah, I've realized once I start seeing someone, you're going on dates, they're calling me. Maybe weekend I was planning on shooting and then I don't shoot. Like I just sat down and I realized, anyway, dating thing, it's making me like to forget about myself, and I think that's something I need to work on because I tend to lose myself in relationships. So relationship wise, I'm also turning 29. And I remember my grandma was telling me, you should have more than me. And she was kind of hinting at Christmas. So she's wondering, this girl, she's almost 30.
mom was telling us that we don't even have to be married, just bring a baby. Imefika hapo. Oh my god.
So now they don't even, because they're saying, okay, so she can't get a boyfriend. Let her just bring a child.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
Mentally wise, okay, yeah, my mental health has always been like up and down. But over the years, I've grown, like my self-awareness has really grown. At least I can catch myself when it's getting bad. I can see, like, you know what you're doing, it's detrimental, like it will fuck you up. Yeah, it will fuck you up. Yeah, so mentally wise, this year I want to go back to therapy. Yeah, and just be stronger, because the healing journey never ends. It never ends. There are certain things I also want to work on, before I can get into a serious relationship and stuff like that. Spiritually wise the same. Spiritually wise the same. This year lazima niende kanisa.
Which church do you go to?
There's this church. Okay, inaitwa Utawala International Christian Church. It's just a Protestant. It's not Catholic. It's just a Protestant church. So those are the categories
that you feel bad though.
Yeah. So in short, I'm just working on everything.
And that is how life is, And at the end of the day, I usually feel like there's something called the wheel of life. I don't know if you know it. It has different categories of social, mental, physical aspects, and you are asked to kind of rate on a scale of 1 to 10 for everything. So sometimes you find it is not balanced, because maybe some other things maybe can rate up to 8, and some are like at a 3, 4. But then that's when you are aware. I feel like when you're aware, it's when you do something about it. Because personally, even when I decided to quit employment, I was like, yes, I have been working for like 3 years, but what do I have to show for it? Do I really love what I am doing? Because I love the mental health industry and everything, but then the field I was in, I didn't love it. It was really affecting my mental health, and the pay, I was just looking at, yes, you have been working, but what do you have to show? Do you have the furniture, the house, the cars and clothes and everything? And I was like, no, it's not matching up. So that's why I decided to quit. And I was like, if what I am getting there, I can be able to do it maybe with my private clients here and there, then I might as well do that and have time to do other things. Like today we are shooting in the middle of the day on a Friday when other people are working. Yeah, so at least you can be able to pursue your passions and do other things. So that's why I do that.
And here I am thinking that I can go into employment.
Yeah, maybe, okay, if you get a good one. Actually, I told you before I came here that I was applying for a job. For me, I am very specific on what I want. If it's like humanitarian NGOs and things like that, I know they have better opportunities and better packages. But if it is something in Yanita, mimi start distress kwa hii maisha.
Something I've realized when you're a freelancer, once you start charging someone a certain amount, it's very hard for them to increase. No matter how much you upskill yourself, no matter how much like you've improved everything, it's very hard for them to pay you more. There are people actually willing to pay you more.
Right,
because you're good at your job. So you just take the leap of faith. And personally, I feel like I am done living paycheck to paycheck. Either you're getting money, you pay your bills, and then you're left with something small to survive, and then you're waiting for the next month. As much as it's a privilege to be able to pay your bills, you're not growing. You're not growing. You're not getting more money. You can't invest. You can't go on holidays. You can't do these extra things. This last year, Marianne, in our 20s, we are not suffering.
I know.
We are not suffering. We are of course I know like our 30s will be great. I cannot wait for my 30s because I'm imagining like in the next 2 years where I'll be in my career if I am actually consistent. This issue of like feeling behind. Okay, yeah, you can feel behind and sit there, but you can feel behind and actually do something
about it.
do something about it. Cool. Yeah, just to improve yourself. Because a lot of us have issue comparing. We have this issue of comparing. And in this era of social media, it can be it can be stressful.
Everything is just here.
Yes, everything is just here. It's just here. You're seeing 23-year-olds, Akina Ziad, you know, killing it in life, Akina Crazy Kena. Those guys are so young. And whatever they were children, I was just asking myself, what was I doing in my early 20s? Like, I was in Moi University just gallivanting. I should have started then. I would have been so far, but I'm not beating myself up because everyone has their own journey. Do you ever find yourself comparing on social media?
I used to, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
I remember actually when we were back in Moi, I think it was third year. I don't know if you remember. But Moi, please just comment about the long holidays. You remember after third year we went for like a whole year.
It was 11 months.
Home.
That's like a whole year.
So during that time, we had already pictured and have graduated by a certain time, and then you're told that you close till further notice, like you will be told. So I remember during that time actually looking on social media, and I don't know if you remember, well, let me not name names, but a certain girl who was starting to go to Dubai and Thailand and Singapore and
Yes, I remember.
And I'm just there home in my mother's house, doing nothing, no degree yet. Maybe, well, I was working. The good thing, the way you said you started working from 16, I also never wanted to like go on holiday, just stay home. But you see, it was just casual jobs. It's not like something. Like this. I had what is her name? You've mentioned about Aziad. Of course, she also started working before graduating. People like Nadia Mukami. What is this girl with a strong voice?
Kalala.
Yes.
Kalala is also very young.
Yeah, she's actually young, and she I think she graduated last year, Kisha. Then she was like, nimegraduate mjue, bado nilikuwa shule. So it's like, at least for them, I feel like the path is already set. Like this paper is just to like rubber stamp. Yes, I have the qualifications, but they already are into something they want. So I remember I would go to the social media and see people posting, maybe they're traveling, they're doing things, and I'm just there in my mother's house and I'm like, oh my god. And you see, you don't have the papers yet, so you can't even work, and you've been told just go home until further notice. So I remember that time I felt so bad. I went into a whole depression. I had to really deactivate all my accounts, and actually that is what I am doing right now, because I was like, if I can go to someone's page, compare myself and feel bad, I don't want to be that to another person. So that's why I decided, even when I went back, which was like after a year or so, I decided to be posting things that are helpful, things that are encouraging, things that are relatable, because for me, you will not see, like those fancy photos and everything. I would do them if I could, but because I am not there, I want you to relate with me in my day-to-day things. So I used to have that comparison, but right now not really.
Me, I sometimes go on people's social media, or I see like some of the girls or just guys we were in campus with, and you can see some of them are like, they're doing so well. They have nice, stable relationships. Their career is booming, and then thinking that even they're not even struggling with their mental health. I also don't have that guarantee, because now my struggle is what has brought me where I am right now. Like having this channel, sharing about mental health, and just encouraging people. So I don't regret that. So when comparing, maybe I mostly compare career-wise. Money is everything.
I know.
Money is everything.
Oh, they say money is not everything, but it is the only thing. Because it will help you with a lot. It will help you solve a lot of problems and things like that. And on that note of comparison, something that I saw is that you may find that the people that you compare yourself with, maybe Sasa now, the way me I'm saying I'm well in terms of my personal development and mental health and things like that, then they could be excelling so well career-wise and, you know, and financially, but on this other side, they're suffering. Maybe they're going through burnout and everything. And especially if you think about the young people who already have this success, you can imagine what they are missing out in terms of having fun while they are young. Because they like Haziad wakes up at what time? 4? Because she has a show at like 5 or 6. So she's missing out on the sleep, on the fun, on the social life and everything. So what it says is also, yes, you can look at what they are excelling in, but also know they are also struggling. And then also for you, when you look back, all the things you used to do, imagine you wouldn't have done them if maybe you had made it.
It's true. But then sometime last year, I found myself comparing myself to this girl, and it really hit home. And I even detached myself from her. I really wanted to be her friend. So we interacted, and then I went to her house. I got there. Her house was amazing. Like, we live in the same building. Even her sitting room was looking different than mine. And we got talking, and she told me, she said, oh, 25, and she was 26 there. So, and she served me like the best liquor, like, you know, nice liquor. That moment, I had just moved there, and I was having doubts on if I'm going to maintain myself, because I had moved to a more pricier house.
Speaking of that, I also have a story. Me, I recently met a certain girlfriend. Also, we used to live in the same apartment. And of course, she was like, yeah, just come over. But then there is usually just that thing that when you see someone doing better, you feel as if you are less off.
That's
you
the
know?
feeling.
Yeah, because I remember, hi Mary, Cynthia. I remember when I first went to her place, you know, I was working on my social life, because I actually personally I've never been a people's person. Like, I've always been.
I always thought you were an introvert.
No, extrovert. Oh yes,
Introvert.
I am an introvert, but I can be an ambivert depending on the situation. But then now being introverted and, you know, working, you go from work to home, just the way I used to do in campus. You find that I didn't have a really good support system. So I decided to join a gym. And then in that gym I met this girl, and apparently we were living in the same apartment. So I was like, yeah, I actually reached out and I was like, can we be friends? Yeah. And then she invited me to her place. And then now, you know, of course, when someone invites you, you also ought to invite them. And the shame, for some reason, I just feel ashamed to call her to my place, because I know I don't have as many things as she has. And that is so wrong. Like, I'm just
feel like that.
So that was really bad, because, you know, for friendships, you're supposed to just be a friend. And you're not even supposed to be comparing yourself. You don't have to be on the same level, because, you know, even for success, you have to have people who are above you, so that you can even learn something from them. So that whole comparison, I feel like we shouldn't be doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, and it's a very terrible feeling to feel like you're inadequate, or to feel like someone else is doing better than you, and probably you feel like you would have done better, or you're in a position to do so much better. It's not a nice place to be, but it's normal. Like a lot of us, we find ourselves comparing ourselves. You just have to know, like people in different journeys, and people are not showing like the bad things or the disappointments that they're experiencing in their lives.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like just be contented with where you are, because now sometimes you compare yourself and then you feel desperate, and then you find yourself doing things to get to a certain point in life. As much as you feel like you're behind or you haven't achieved, it's good to be contented and to be okay with where you are, because it eliminates that desperation.
It
does.
And even the whole saying that there's nothing wrong with me, it's being like, yes, to my friend, maybe they are better in terms of, the finances or how their house looks like, but maybe I'm better than them in another area. Maybe I have got my things together, my mental health is okay, maybe I am happier. Maybe another one, you could have a relationship they don't. There is always something that your friend will gain from you, and then there's this thing that you will gain from them. And even imagine you're comparing yourself, your house, like that's just one aspect. You're comparing your house to them, or even for me in my case, but then they're not working the same place you're working. They have not done the same thing you have done. So they have a whole lot of background that you did not have, but we're just comparing with one thing. Like that's the measuring scale. Just how the house looks like. So we do a lot of disservice to ourselves.
We do a lot of disservice, like just putting ourselves down. Like you said, like we are our biggest enemies. You put yourself down, you're not encouraging yourself, but adulting is just about reparenting yourself. So you're living in your mind, you're living in your body, your mind for the rest of your life. So why would you make it a bad space for yourself? Of which feeling bad, feeling behind, it's normal, but you still have to be open to things, because probably the things you're aspiring to have or to be is not meant for you, or maybe like your life is meant to go in a different direction. Like the career that you wanted or the job that you wanted, probably God is putting you in a different position. That relationship, you're admiring someone else's relationship, you don't know what goes on at night when they're together, when you can't see what's going on. I would be like wanting to get married so bad, because now I'm almost 30, but it's not in the works for me. Probably I'm just meant to
be the rich auntie,
and to just focus on myself and things like that. So just be open to, even if you're desiring something, be open that there might change, because life is very unpredictable. You have to be comfortable in having like uncertainty. You don't know what's next, you don't know what's going to happen. And if you're finding yourself comparing yourself on social media, just turn off notifications of those people that you're feeling like envious about. Turn them off, or just take a break from social media.
You've actually reminded me, I am a big fan of TMI podcast. I don't know if you watch it. And they were talking about that. Like there was a time Lydia was feeling like the other one was doing better, and she had to actually mute her. Even if it is your friend, you need to do that. You need to have boundaries. Like let's say, even for example, if it's me saying that we will not meet in your house so that I don't feel bad, it's okay. Imagine we can go hang out there, and do what we need to do, and that if that is what will help me be happy and comfortable, then it is actually really okay.
You hear a parent had a job in a government office for 20 years. We want freedom. We feel like we don't need men. We want them, yes. You hear